Welcome back to Kiki Self-Mastery. My name is Kiki LaFleur, and today I'm going to talk to you about why you don't know you're dating a narcissist until it's too late. And there are a couple of factors, and especially if you're anything like me or how I used to be, which is a people pleaser. Mind you, I did not know I was a people pleaser. If you would have asked me then if I was a people pleaser, I would have been like, hell no. It's crazy because once you wake up from the narcissistic fog, you realize really quickly how much of a people pleaser you actually was. And that really that's like the foundation of it. You do not know you're with a narcissist because you're too busy trying to please in every single way. So you're not awakened or wise to the love bombing. You're not able to pay attention when they're devaluing you, the hoovering, the discard, the idolizations, which is the love bombing. Like, I had to look it up because I couldn't remember what that name was, but you're too busy. One, they're mirroring you. That's the other thing. So as you're trying to people please, as you're trying to get them to like you as much as you want them to, or as much as you think they like you, they're also mirroring you. So you actually think that this is going good, even though there may be signs and signals there warning you. You're not aware of them. You're in a love fog. In whether it's love or lust, you know what I mean? Like, you're not able to really pay attention to those signs. And quite honestly, that's what they want. They want to get you into that point where you aren't aware, you aren't awakened, you don't love yourself enough to know that I'm not tolerating any of this stuff. Because again, there are a lot of things in the beginning that if you at your healed self, you wouldn't tolerate any of it. Like, I've even had narcissists try to come back in my life after, like, there was one in particular. I ain't speak to this man. We didn't even go on a date. We spoke on the phone, and then we met up once. And I haven't seen this man in over 10 years. And this is after being with that devil. This man come into my life, and immediately I knew he was a narcissist. It took me about a month to realize, because he was doing a lot of the love bombing. And during that time, when I tell you, I swear, these narcissists, they just know when to try to come back in your life. They know when to come in. Literally, he called me during the next day after my cousin was no longer here. So I was in bed crying. I was asleep, actually, because me and my family just got home from the hospital, whatever time in the morning that was, maybe 3 o'clock. So he called me. It was like 9 o'clock. So I hardly got any sleep because I don't even know if I went to sleep right away. So he called me right after that. And that's why it took me a month, because I was grieving. But once I realized, immediately gone, because my experience with the demon. And again, I call I call that ex-demon, ex-narcissist, a demon. So if you want to know why, or just a little bit of breakthrough, I don't even think I even explained it in that one, but maybe in the first video I went a little bit into it. But nonetheless, when you hear me say demon, I'm talking about the narcissist, okay? And I'll put the first video in the cards that I kind of like jump into that really quickly. But they really try to come in your life. But I was awakened during that time. So to go back into why you don't know you're dating a narcissist until it's too late, is because you are blind, and they are betting on you being blind. They're betting on you not loving yourself, liking yourself. They are betting on everything that you can possibly do that is lacking self-love. All the things that apply to it, that's what they're betting on. And they make you feel like you need them. They really do with the love bombing. They make you feel like they're the best thing on this earth that ever have come into your life. And I promise you, once you realize it, once you wake up to that reality, it's too late. It's too late. If you don't have this knowledge, if you don't have the education when it comes to these monsters, it's too late. And the sad part is that some people actually don't escape. Some people that do escape, it's with their life, unfortunately, and I do not wish that on anyone. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. I promise you, I do not wish that on no. I don't wish. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's a point that I feel like I had to go through this narcissistic experience, and maybe I'll talk about that a bit later. But there are the pros and cons to it. But if I had to pick and choose on what I want someone to experience, I don't ever want anyone to experience this, even with the pros that come from it. And I'm just grateful that I was able to escape it. When you are in the relationship, you're just trying to change yourself majority of the time, because you think that you're the problem. That's why you don't even know that you're with this demon, because you literally, they make you feel like you are the problem in every which way, every corner you turn, every opportunity. They're always against you. They always make you feel like there's something wrong with you. So you're too busy and occupied with changing who you are to even pay attention to who they are. That's what they do. It's literally a disguise, and they're so good at it. So good at the manipulation. And that's the thing, like, I've watched him manipulate other people. Do you think it dawned on me that he was manipulating me? No. What I did know was that this man makes me feel terrible about myself every opportunity he can. Every opportunity he can. I remember one time when he saw me hurting and he was on the opposite side of me, and I saw him smirk and walk away. And it still didn't dawn on me that this man liked to see me suffer. It didn't dawn on me. It was more, for me, it was more so like, how can someone laugh at my pain? Oh, now you got to make up for that. Because when you're in a relationship and your partner hurts you, you think that it's okay to let them know they hurt you, because eventually you want them to make up for what they did to hurt you. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, there is no making up. They would never make up. They would just continue to do it over and over and over again. And then you think that you're the problem and you have to fix yourself constantly changing, constantly doing, constantly bowing down to their knees and giving in to what they want, to eventually you even get to a point where you just say, fuck it. That's what you want? Whatever. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of giving. I'm tired of debating. I'm tired of not getting anything from this. Fine, you win. And by the time you say that you win, you have gone through hell and back. You have gone through everything that you can possibly imagine when it comes to fixing and healing and working through your relationship. There was one thing that I said to this man a million times, and I'm not over exaggerating, because it was the one thing that I knew that would help us. But because he was so gun-ho about not changing, that he made every excuse. He even blamed me on why I didn't go in depth and explain more on why we needed to do these things. Like, bro, the gaslighting was incredible. I would always complain about tools. We don't have tools. We need tools in a relationship. We need tools. Whether it's looking at relationship from other people that are successful, relationships on book, relationships on social media, research, finding tools, because I truly believe that a healthy relationship relies on tools that get you through the hard time, the good time, the bad, so on and so forth. That's why people go to therapy, marriage counseling, things like that. Why? Because they help you to implement certain tools. I knew these things. I know what it's like to have a healthy relationship. I've been in healthy relationships before. But when I telling this man and asking and begging this man for tools, it got to a point where I stopped, because it was going in one ear and out the other, and even him blaming me on why I didn't go in depth about the tools. He even went so as far as sending the tools that I sent him to his ex. Bruh. Bruh. When I tell you all I did was change myself even more, adapted to his toxicity, adapted to realizing that maybe if I just stop asking for the things that I wanted and the things that I needed, that maybe I would be happier. There is no way in hell that I could have paid attention to even question what I was dealing with. I had no clue what I was dealing with. I was so deep in the narcissistic fog that all I can focus on was what was wrong with me, because he made it seem like everything was, I couldn't do nothing right. When I tell you I had an opinion, he always had the opposite. Doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter. From the food, it doesn't matter what it was. Whatever I thought, he went the opposite every time. And I started to catch that pattern. I was like, I can't say anything. I can't do anything. And then it was the people around him, whether it be his friends, his family. He would turn everyone against it. It was a point where his friends started to not like me. Mind you, I hardly was around these people. But he told them what they wanted to hear and what he wanted them to know. And eventually they realized or thought that I was the problem. It wasn't until I walked away, It wasn't until I ran away that they realized that it wasn't me. I wasn't the problem. And I knew that. I knew that eventually I needed to escape all of this toxicity, and however they have their breakthrough, but I needed to do what was best for me. And by that time, it was already too late for me. I already had gone through the immense amount of stress that my body could have handled, to the point where it was breaking me down in every way possible. And all I could do and think of was how to escape. And eventually, a few of them woke up to the realization that he was a narcissist and even apologized to me because they were wrong. And it felt good to receive that, quite honestly, because they're the narcissists and they're flying monkeys. Ooh, it can be bad. It can really, really hurt you in the way that makes you feel like everyone's against you. The world is against you. And in our reality, it's just these demons spreading their poison. That's all it is. So how can you know? How could you possibly know that you're dealing with a demon? How could you? Especially if you are empathetic, you're kind-hearted, you are a people pleaser, you just want to spread love and joy and happiness, and you're coming from a good place, and you do not know that the narcissist exists in this world, or you're thinking of a narcissist as someone that, which is what I did, as someone who's just self-absorbed, just super self-absorbed in a way where they're always in the mirror, they're always, doing selfies. Like I didn't know the depth of narcissism. So it was easy for me to disregard that as, that's not this person I'm dealing with. I just thought I was dealing with someone that truly just didn't give a freak about me. And by any means necessary, I needed to escape that, because there was no way I was going to survive this. There's no way. And plus, it was also confirmation for me to know that what I want, what I need, and what I desired was absolutely correct. And I deserve every bit of it. So I started to say this mantra while I was with this person, which was never settle. And I still say to this day, never settle. I put it on everything. It was on my Wi-Fi. It was on my phone. It was on everything. If I could use it as a password, I would. So when he would ask, or he'd be like, let me connect to your computer Wi-Fi or your thing Wi-Fi, whatever, it would be there. Or I'd write it down, and I would it wasn't about him seeing it. I just didn't care anymore that he saw it, because in all reality, I was training myself and preparing myself to walk away, because I knew I deserved way better than what I was giving, way better than what I was getting. And I knew I had way more to give. And that's the other thing. I also stopped giving what I was giving in the beginning. I pulled all the way back to the point where I even stopped talking. And the delusional part of this demon was they thought that because I stopped talking and stopped complaining, that we were getting along. That's how delusional they were. And he kept bringing up, because he already had baby fever from the beginning of our relationship, but closer to the end, when I just shut it down, he was like, and our kids are gonna be so beautiful, so this, so that. And I was like, bruh. I even told him, I was like, you're delusional. He was like, maybe I am. And I was like, you are. Because I am never having your children. Like, I did everything not to get pregnant. When I tell you I do everything. I didn't get on birth control. I didn't do any of that. But I did whatever I needed to not get pregnant. Like, I knew how not to get pregnant. I already had kids. So I already knew how to get pregnant, and I knew how not to, okay? And I made sure all my tricks went into play when it came, because the last thing I needed was to get caught up and trapped with this demon. No. So that was my quick tidbit on like how you wouldn't be able to recognize, like, and hopefully this wakes a couple of people up and have you know the difference and understand the difference between the two. And it's time for us to really pay attention to the people that we allow ourselves to be connected with, whether it's friendship or even romantic or even business-wise. Like, you gotta be so aware of human behavior, because if you don't, it hurts you more than it helps you. There's a book by Robert Greene, which is this is The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. And I wish I was able to have this book prior to, but once you're in a narcissistic relationship, you kind of really start doing a whole bunch of research. And he definitely goes into narcissism, psychopath, just human nature, human behaviors, things like that. It's so important for you to wake up to what those traits are, because again, it will hurt you if you don't. The reality is that they're a lot more wicked than good. And if you do not arm yourself with tools, because life has a way of putting you through a roller coaster where you can forget certain things and you need to be reminded. So this is not just for you, this is for my future self as well. I wish I knew a lot of human behaviors beforehand, but I do now, and I'm better equipped for dealing when it comes to dealing with people. Okay, like, you can't pull a wool over my eyes. Like, you really can't at this point in my life. So, and that's part of what was good that came out of a narcissistic freaking relationship, but nonetheless, I don't wish it on anyone. So I hope that helps. I hope that this was informative, and if you want to see more videos, check out the ones in these boxes. Other than that, you guys, please like, thumbs up, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.